work together quite nicely. So we have a formation lap, and I'm interested to see what tyres everyone is on. Midzi is going for the mediums, along with Crispy. But everyone else in the top 9 is on a set of hard compound tyres. Riggsy, Jam, and Power are going quite aggressive on a set of softs. So that should be quite exciting. Oh, as Riggsy and Sora hit each other. I don't quite know how that's happened, but that's not going to help their tyre temperatures at all. As Jam is disconnected again, really struggling with internet issues, it looks like. But yeah, another one to look out for, of course, is going to be Drastic Blaze after that podium last race. Well and truly solidifying himself near the top of the grid, and yeah, I mean, I feel pretty confident that if he has a good race, he's going to be one of the podium contenders again, which is kind of mental, straight after your promotion into the division. And the main championship protagonists, well, Hammers and Racing, and Snipes, who is the championship leader at the moment, starting 5th, has a very good opportunity to extend his championship lead. At the moment, his championship lead 22 points. So if Snipes has another good race performance, then it could be very large by the end of it. We will just have to wait and see how that cookie crumbles. Everyone is lining up, other than, of course, the disqualified cars. And we get ready for what should be an exciting race. Usually quite exciting on this game, and I think with Midzi starting on the medium compound tyres and others behind him on the hards, then we could see some ebbs and flows all the way throughout the race. The lights are coming on. I'd quite like a better view than this. Is the game going to give it to me? Please? It's lights out and off we go. It looks like a pretty good start from Midzi, but I'm not sure whether Ads is under pressure from Blaze. They're going to go side by side here into turn 1. And it looks like at the moment Ads is just going to clear Blaze, but Blaze is still trying to stick it in there. Ads defends on the inside line. It's going to help Midzi, of course. But it looks like he's managed to keep the position. And here comes Snipes here around the outside of Blaze. Can he pull it off? Not quite. He does get past Simba, though. Oh, there's a car going off the track. That is a Mercedes and Roller. It looks like he's all right, but a bit of carnage already, has to be said. But yeah, good start from Midzi and a good start from Snipes as well. As Corey's trying to make the move on Sparks. Looks like he's pulled it off quite easily. Oh, and I think Evo must have had a moment. Yeah, he's down in P last at the moment. So must have had him off. It's nearing the end of lap 1 and Midzi's nearly already broken DRS to Ads as Riggsy makes a move on soft compound tyres over Sparks and Jam makes that move. Does he? Now he does. Brilliantly, ran the outside of the Williams driver. Sparks suffering on those hards initially, and Midzi has broken DRS in the mediums as well. The gap between the mediums and the hards here is absolutely crazy. Same with the gap with the softs, obviously. The softs have an even bigger gap. Although in saying that, Corey's feeling quite racy on his hards, side by side with Griffiths. These two have had several bits of contact in F2 this season. Oh, bit of wheel banging. Side by side, oh, bit more contact. And I think Corey's going to kind of have to back out there. Look, feel like that gap is always going to close. And Griffiths keeps the position. It's all fair but hard racing, I would say, in that one. I'm looking kind of at the ERS situation, and Midzi, despite gapping Ads by so much, has a very healthy ERS situation as well. Ads does have a bit more, but but Midzi is still on a very healthy battery, so he's got the gap down, and he hasn't had to rinse his battery to do it, which is very important. Maybe he's anticipating a safety car as well, as we have a bit of a battle for P16, 17 and 18 here as well, Merckx, Para and Evo. They've unfortunately lost the DRS of the rest of them. Someone who certainly hasn't lost potential DRS is Riggsy, trying to go side by side with Corey. And obviously on those soft compound tyres, you should have a lot more grip at this stage of the race, Riggsy. But he can't make the move stick at the moment. Corey standing his ground very, very well. Is Ivan making mistakes, or is he simply just not quite having the pace of Lindsay at the moment? Did look like he had a couple of wobbles there. Oh, and look, is Riggs going to dive core? Oh, Blaze had a bit of an off. Blaze made a big mistake, and Snipes has got past him. I don't know whether Blaze has damage from that. I missed exactly what happened, but Blaze has had a bit of a problem, and Snipes, he's going to have to use a bit of battery here to try and close back up to Ads, and now Simba's right behind Blaze as well, so it's a bit of a disastrous lap 3 going on to lap 4 for Blaze. Simba brakes very aggressively, very late, and that's a very clean move from the Alpine driver. I do expect Snipes to quite quickly close back up to Ads. It's quite easy to close up to people, especially if the car ahead's saving ERS on this game. And then when you have the DRS, you can just chill. Oh, in saying that, I think I might have juked Snipes a bit. As he goes off track, as that turn 4 curb on this game is absolutely brutal. It is very, very easy to have a bit of a wobble, run wide, and be in all kinds of bother. And Jam disconnected again. And Snipes still trying very hard to try and close in that DRS of Ads. I do think he's got a decent bit of pace, Snipes, but at the moment at least, just 1 or 2 mistakes, and that's costing him. So I think he might just about have the DRS. Let's have a look. No, he doesn't yet. Not quite. Alright, it's really fascinating at the moment how much of a gap Midzi is able to create on those medium compound tyres. I'm not entirely sure what his strategy is going to be. Is he going to go for a medium hard, in which case he will have worse tyres in the second half of the race, or is he perhaps going to extend it for softs at the end of the race? I do know that Riggs, for example, in starting on those soft compound tyres, clearly believes he can make a one-stop work with them. To see how Midzi feels as well. Or is he going to go completely left field and do a 2-stop? That would be very surprising. I mean, of course, safety cars are very, very... Well, they race changes for safety cars. Could completely switch everyone's strategies, really. Snipes, as race roller, has lost the DRS, I think. So is Simba on Snipes as well. There's a bit of some gaps forming here at the moment. It's Crispy down the inside of Drastic Blaze on his set of medium tyres. Does leave a decent bit of room on exit. That's very respectful racing from the two of them. I like that. I feel like Crispy, he could have, if he wanted to, crowded Blaze out a little bit, but just was a bit kind, gave him a little bit of space, so if you want to go down here, then feel free, but Blaze managing his own race as well, thought that it would not really help either of them, and Crispy makes the move. So yeah, good driving from there. And I think Ads has some really good pace. He's settled down. He did make a couple of little errors, I think, but he's managing to keep Snipes at a very consistent pace, and it looks like, in terms of race pace, they are very, very similar, the P2 and P3 drivers. But I do think the Snipes is going to be very close to getting in the DRS here. I think he might have it now. So yeah, just that little bit of an extra edge, Snipes, and I think we have a look at the telemetry. Yeah, DRS is enabled for the Alfa Romeo driver, as Griffiths is now passing Drastic Blaze. So he's fallen a bit back on those hard compound tyres, but does have a bit of a gap to Corey. So yeah, very interesting situation. Someone who is also fallen back and does need to settle into this race a bit is Simba. Currently sitting in P4, but he's nearly lost the DRS to Snipes and Ads a couple of times. Oh, was Ads! That was a big error. Saw him on the right-hand side of the track when the racing line is on the left. You do not want to be doing that, my friend. You do not want to be doing that at all. And that is probably a sign that the tyre wear is kind of hitting what I'd call phase 2, where you have that initial large drop off of grip after around about, when the tyres hit roughly about 20% wear, roughly, is when you move into that phase, and Ads clearly noticed that, it's safe to say. As Corey's absolutely burning his batteries to try and get in the DRS ablaze. I don't know if Griffiths lost it in Crispy as well. Oh no, he does have it. He must have just... Maybe he's just running really high wings or something. I don't know. So he dropped off quite a bit on that straight. Maybe had a little wiggle out of the final corner. It's hard to tell. Let's have a little bit of time on board with our race leader as well. Yeah, he looks like he's driving it well at the moment, just getting on with his race, and the gap is somewhat stabilising, I think, to Ads, bar the couple of mistakes that the second McLaren driver, I should say, has been making. And looking at the situation in the top 8, Corey's now got DRS on Blaze. He's well and truly in that DRS zone. So now Corey can begin to recharge his battery. He's basically just got to use absolutely none for the next 5 or 6 laps, and well, I mean, try and get back on a similar level to the drivers like Ads and Snipes, because they basically have a completely full battery. If you have a look at Snipes, yeah, he's on 100% now. He's just completely comfortable, able to save with that DRS. And it is a track that's very easy to save as well. I think that's a little wiggle from Ads and Snipes saying, can we work together please? They know their race against Midzi is going to come later on in this race. And yeah, would be a smart decision for them to work together a bit. Meanwhile, drivers like Crispy and Griffiths, I feel like they're also going to have to work together a bit, because they're going to be on the same strategy as well. They'll have to work together a bit, I think, to defend from the hard runners as well. It's going to be quite a key aspect of this race, because yeah, they are going to get that undercut, I expect, but as there's a yellow flag, who's that that's gone? Who's that that's gone? That's Blaze! Oh no! Drastic Blaze, he was running in a very good position. P7, I believe, and he spun it out the final corner. He He's got down to P15. I don't know whether he's done a Sergio Perez and hit that back barrier, or done a Sebastian Vettel and missed it, but the Drastic Blaze, running in a very good position, has found himself having a spin. And someone else who's had a spin is Race Roller. I don't know whether that was with contact with Riggs, because they were fighting quite hard, but Race Roller has had an off and has dropped down to P13 as well. I tell you, he's not going to be too pleased with Drastic Blaze's spin. That's SLR Corey, because he had closed in on the DRS and the cars ahead of him, but now he's got to do that work all over again to catch back up. And it really is going to hinder his DRS situation, that is for sure. That's a real shame for Blaze, though. He's having a very solid race up until that point. But it's still a long way to go, still 25 laps to go, and anything can happen. Jam's gone to the pits, changing off the set of softs. Interestingly, Sora's passed Riggs as well. Sora's been someone that's not really mentioned too much other than the formation lap. But quite quietly has worked his way up into P8, and Bourbon Boy's worked his way up into the points as well. Still with a very healthy factory. Bourbon Boy did not set a lap in qualifying, but is up into P10, having some very strong race pace, it seems. As I'd completely missed Snipes passing ads. How'd I miss that? Anyway, Snipes is up into P2, so Snipes is the lead hard runner trying to get the gap a bit closer to Midzi. I do wonder when the Season 8 champion is going to make his pit stop onto the hards, if he does choose to go for the hards. Very interesting situation at the moment. Have a look at gap to leader, for example, and I think a pit stop for Midzi would see him clean out. Or as Bourbon's going very early, wanting to get a huge undercut of his own. Feels like he's kind of stuck in traffic a bit, and why not take the risk, you know? Why not go for an aggressive strategy and try and make up those places via a bit of an undercut and see where that takes you. It's going to be a lot quicker than everyone else at this phase of the race, this Bourbon Boy. Potentially could end up being a bit of a stopper for some of these drivers, especially some of those that go long as well. Because this is a track where, unlike Silverstone, because we saw Snipes go long at Silverstone, I think if Snipes goes long here, for example, then you might not find it as easy to make those overtaking moves. So it's going to be, it's much finer art balancing the strategy at this track, I feel. Bourbon Boy is going for track position, that is for sure. I'm wondering how many others are going to follow him in that very early box. Riggsy X is someone who is following him, and that's for obvious reasons. He was on the soft compound tyre. He's going to go onto a set of mediums, I assume. Don't see why he wouldn't. Yes, he is. And yeah, I think he probably will be undercut by Borden, because they were quite close to each other. But yeah, Riggsy X is another driver at the moment who is going to go for quite a good bit of track position at this phase of the race. This is a yellow flag and set to 3. That is Paraquix. Who is that an off? Not really enjoying himself at the moment. Nearly a lap down. Hello, Mckeon. Before you say anything, I know I need to change my Twitch name. I just can't be bothered. But yeah, let's see who else is going to come in for an early box. I suppose Corey isn't, for example, because Corey is that couple of seconds back from the train ahead of him. Race Roller is, obviously has nothing to lose at the moment. As I'm going to go on board with Warbon Boy, because this is quite an important little bit of his race. His Mercs is looking very much considerably slower on those older hard compound tyres. And so Bourbon Boy makes the move. What's his gap to leader out of interest? It's 27 seconds, so I think Midzi will still clear him. It's just about who else when they come to the mediums. As Para's had another off as well. Not a good race at all, Para. As I'm kind of watching the pit stops at the moment like a hawk. Who's going to dive into the pits? Is Corey going to dive into the pits this time? Nope. Is Sora going to on those mediums? No. Riggsy and Bourbon, and obviously Jam as well, who have gone for that very aggressive stop. Into lap 15, and this is getting quite close to the period of the race where your medium runners are going to want to start thinking about boxing. I think they are going to go onto the hards. We shall see. I also think it's the stage of the race where the hards are just outright quicker. If you have a look at Crispy, and he's lost DRS to Silver. So, and Midzi, well, he's lost 8 tenths to Snipes as well. So I feel like it's at this stage of the race where potentially there's going to be a few more boxes as well. Let's have a look and see if Midzi does dive in. Yes, he does. And I'm not surprised at that, looking at how that gap is changing. And in comes Crispy as well. Griffiths is choosing to stay out. Yeah, Midzi and Crispy very much mirroring each other's strategies. And they've obviously seen, right, yep, these medium tyres at the moment are very much not on pace. Let's see where Midzi comes out. This is quite important as well. It's coming out just behind Drastic Blaze. Half a second behind Drastic Blaze, in fact. And Crispy comes out just behind Riggsy. So yeah, Crispy has been undercut by Riggs and Bourbon. But I think, yeah, Midzi's going to need to be quickly dispatching the AlphaTauri of Blaze at the moment as well. He wants to not lose too much time. Snipes. Oh, and that's not going to help the time. On cold tyres and the dirty air. Of course, his first point of this race that he has had dirty air, as he's led from start to finish before now. A first point of the race with dirty air, and had a bit of a moment, and unfortunately has picked up a time penalty. Blaze is losing him a lot of time at this current moment. But then, I mean, if that's how much time you're going to lose with traffic, what's that situation going to be for other drivers as well? We're going to have to make more moves. As Ads is coming out side by side with Crispy pretty much. That's very interesting. Ads chose to completely cover Midzi and is going for an earlier box. He's got a decent bit of a tyre advantage over Riggs and Bourbon, but his issue as well, Ads, is that He's got to pass them on track. As here comes Bourbon on Blaze as well, getting so much more grip. And that's a great move from Bourbon. And Midzi, after overtaking Riggs' teammate, who's presumably trying to help Riggs out a bit by holding him up, he's now encountering Bourbon's teammate of Evo. Now, I don't know if Evo's going to think about doing the same thing, but yeah. It seems though Midzi's caught Evo in quite a nice spot, and he'll be hoping that he can make this move a lot more easily and in a lot less time than he did with his move on Blaze. Just that tyre advantage out the final corner, so much more traction. And Midzi sails past the Ferrari driver. As Blaze immediately pretty much lets Riggs go. He's not going to fight that one at all. But yeah, Riggs working his way up into a pretty decent position at the moment as well. But Ads is going to be very racy behind him. That's for sure. Still finely in the balance this race. Bourbon and Riggsy have made themselves a very interesting part of this race, that is for sure. I think Crispy's going to play himself into a pretty decent track position as well. Let's have a look at Snipes. Snipes is going for... He's doing it again. He's going for that very, very long strategy. Staying out until lap 19, maybe even longer, on those hard compound tyres. Here comes Midzi. And Medal's not really fighting there at all. Certainly not his race. Bourbon sails past Evo as well, and Ads gets Riggsy. That's... So yeah, Ads has now worked his way up. He's now got the Ferrari of Evo, obviously. And then Bourbon boy, who's on considerably older tyres, to get past before he thinks about start closing on Midzi. As Midzi sails past Sparks as well. And Snipes is only 10 seconds ahead of Midzi at the moment, so he's going to go for that late box. If he's going to get that time down by the end of the race, he's going to basically have to overtake everyone here, Snipes. He's going to have to overtake Corey, Simba, Cham, but all of those lot. And speaking of Simba and Jam, Simba is right behind Jam, and there's that 8-lap tyre difference for the Aston Martin driver. And Simba's lost out big time as well compared to Ads. He's like 2 positions behind Ads. And he's diving it on Jam. He knows he needs to make that move if he wants to make his undercut work. On Snipes, who has now pit. He eases off to try and make sure he gets DRS. And now Corey's going to nip in Jam as well. So here we go. Snipes actually gets out ahead of Simba because of that fighting. So that is very important for Snipes' race. He wants to win this. He's going to have to win it the hard way though. Oh, and it's going to be even harder as he has made a huge error into turn 2. Wow. Oh, never mind. That may have just been by Xbox because it's 8 PM. Nice. I do love this glitch. Oh well. Should be back in no time. For the second half of this race. It's going to be a safety car in there. It's just something's wacky is going to happen. Oh no, no safety car, but Midzi's in the lead now. So, that happened. Cool. That's what I missed then. I need tyres. Yes, I need tyres. Aha, there we go. So yeah, the scenario at the moment, yeah, Midzi, he still managed to keep his 4-second lead. But now suddenly, Ad's in effective P2 and Bourbon in effective P3, so... Oh, as Ad's touches the rear end of Sora, and that's just his tyre gap. The tyre difference is absolutely ridiculous. Ad's basically pushing Sora around, and they're going to go side by side here. Ads is being very risky. Oh, and that's nearly not paid off for him. He's nearly absolutely ended up in the brass, but it looks like he's all right. And he's going side by side again with Sora, and does manage to make the move. Race for a penalty. Now Bourbon's going to try and get past Sora. Basically gained a pit stop on him, so I'm pretty sure he pitted from behind Sora. He's gained a pit stop. So who knows, maybe the 2 stop would be the one. I don't know. That's very interesting. And now Crispy's going to try and get past Sora on these absolutely cooked tyres. It's not really working out fantastically for Sora at the moment. He's going for fresh softs at the end. Along with Griffiths, of course, as well. But yeah. Anyway, now the question is, how much more pace is Ad's going to have than Midzi? We saw that it took around about 15 laps for Midzi to start being slower than the medium runners, so Ads is going to have to basically... He's going to basically have to get in his DRS then, and then hope that he can stay within the 3 seconds. Interestingly, Crispy's actually quicker than Bourbon at the moment. And we do, of course, have to keep an eye on Snipes. Because Snipes is very much out of sync with Ads. He's going to be very racing himself. Sora finally gets. Took him long enough. But he's going to have fresh softs. As whoa, that 1:16.6 from Griffiths. How much quicker than Midzi is that? I'm interested. That is 2.2 seconds quicker than the race leader on his fresh softs. He's absolutely just eating away at everyone ahead of him. If you close that gap, then he'd be, for every single lap, then he'd be with Midzi at 6 laps. So, yeah. As it would be nice if Para got out of the way, he's a lap car. That'd be lovely. Yeah, this race is certainly hotting up very nicely. And I'm intrigued to see what Crispy can do as well. I feel like Crispy, if he can somehow stay in the DRS of Snipes when Snipes inevitably overtakes him, because he's going to overtake him, then Crispy could be able to potentially piggyback his way up into a pretty decent track position at the moment. But I'm going to have a look at what is sure to be a very interesting battle. Corey versus Griffiths versus Simba versus Riggs. Griffiths sending it down the inside. Oh, there's a bit of contact from Corey. And he's managed to make the move on Riggs as well on exit. And Griffiths has worked his way up into P7. Can he get past Simba quickly here? Because he needs to make these fresh tyres work. At the moment, the softs are absolutely flying. There's like no battery, and they are going to die quite quickly. He needs to make a move on Simba and just try and get as high up as he can before they die. It's so interesting, these different strategies here. Look, it's Crispy staying in within Snipes. No, he's not. Snipes just has far too much pace for Crispy. Corey and Riggsy are dueling it as well. Corey, with how that turn 1 shaped out, really lost out big time. Griffiths was able to get through, and he's lost a significant period of time to Riggsy. as Bourbon Boy's come in for his second stop of the race. So he has switched to a two-stop, so that's interesting. And Griffiths makes his way past Simba. So he has made that move quickly. How far up can he get before those softs will come through? At the moment, if I bet on anyone for the win, to be honest, I'm betting on Snipes. He's on those mediums that are going to be nice until the end of the race, and Midzi has that time penalty. I think Midzi can still win this one on track, but it's looking good at the moment for Snipes. And with that earlier stop, I'm not sure it's working too well. His roller's gone off as well. And also Griffiths is right behind Crispy. He's tapped his rear end a bit, which got him completely out of shape. There's so much more grip, obviously, on those softs compared to those hards. Crispy, I don't think it's too sensible to fight that. Same with ads with Snipes, to be honest. And now Snipes can go hunting after Midzi. What ads though has to do is stay in the DRS of Snipes, because Griffiths, I think, will be quicker than ads at this phase of the race, quite considerably, in fact. The race roller's retired. Oh, it's in the pits. So it's not going to bring out the safety car. Safety car would be content. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure like nobody would know what to do if there was a safety car. Like, do you pit? Do you not? Get trap position? Do you? What do you do? Looking at, I think Ads is going to lose DRS on Snipes, so that could hurt Ads' charge. Could very much be Snipes versus Midzi for the win, and Ads, yeah, I'm not too sure whether he is going to be able to close in that gap now. Snipes has shown so much more pace with those fresher tyres. This is going to be another win for Snipes as Simba gets past Crispy. Simba here, if he plays his cards right, he's only on one lap older tyres than Snipes. On for a very good result here. Yeah, I feel like there is a bit of action left there. It's just a bit of a shame that Midzi's got that penalty, to be honest, because I feel like there would be some sort of fight with Snipes, but I mean, if Snipes clears off, then it's fine, I suppose. So that would mean that penalty hasn't really meant anything, but you never like races to being decided by penalties. You'd want it to be an on-track battle between these two drivers. And looking at it, it does seem like they are significantly clear. Though Griffiths does still have a bit of life in those softs, so maybe he can be a factor as well. I've actually closed the gap to 6 seconds to this, which is... He's doing very well with that. And Crispy seems to be staying with Simba as well, playing himself into the race. As there's a fight between Sora and Jam. Jam on very old tyres, Sora on quite new softs. And Sora does get the position. It's basically an F1 car against an F2 car with that difference of tyres. That's for sure. Snipes has now almost got DRS at Midzi. I'm going to just double check Midzi's warnings because there's a chance that he does have a double warning as well. No, doesn't look like it. It's always worth checking because Snipes probably does not know that and is going to want to fight this like Midzi does not have a penalty. I think we could still get a decent bit of a race here. It does look like... Yeah, Snipes just has so much more grip at this stage of the race. The mediums are still good. They are 4 laps newer than Midzi's cars. Snipes is absolutely flying on them. And who else is still flying? At least relative to Ads is Griffiths. He still has life in those socks. Just 9/10 of a second back. Well, I'm going to have a look at Snipes here on Midzi. At the moment, he's not quite close enough. And yeah, I do think strategy's certainly very, very close, but those late boxers... That's been the main strength of Snipes' strategy compared to Ads's. Because Ads isn't even going to get a podium here, I don't think. Unless Griffiths' tyres hit the cliff in the last few laps. Meanwhile, Snipes, with a few laps fresher, still has an absolute spade. He's probably one of the drivers in the top 10 who's got the most amount of grip out of anyone. Or I say he does have the most amount of grip out of anyone in the top 10 at the moment, Snipes. And is he going to use that to great effect? And is he going to be able to take the lead from Midzi now? Midzi's weaving, he's saying, go on, I'm not going to fight this. Smart move as Griffiths is going to get past Ads as well. They're going side by side though. Does Ads keep it in there? No, he doesn't. Crispy gets past Simba as well. So his car's coming back to him a bit. No, Midzi's car's going to come back to him as well. Maybe he's thinking the Snipes is that he's hoping that he can piggyback off him a bit to try and stay 3 or more seconds ahead of Griffiths, because that's the key thing really. Griffiths is just 3.6 seconds behind him, and that's going to be so close at the end of the race to that 3-second window. I do think Midzi, he is going to miss out on it. He is going to miss out on that DRS. He's going to have to use quite a bit, I think. He wants to stay ahead of Griffiths. That's one thing he does have advantage to the Red Bull driver, is he does have a significant bit more ERS advantage. So can use that in the final couple of laps. And he's going to be picking up a very distant slipstream from Snipes as well. And Griffiths, of course, still has Ads to think about behind him. At the moment, he does seem to have the measure of him. If those two start battling, then that could halt his charge. As Riggs and Sparks are battling it out. Oh, they nearly make a bit of contact there. Whoa, that's a bit of a train. Notice how big that train was. And the driver with the better tyres were the ones in the back of it, so... there'll be some fun fights in this train. I feel like this could potentially get ugly. Hopefully not, but potentially could cause incidents. This is for the final 3 spots in the points. So it is quite important to these drivers. With Riggsy on the tyres that he's on, really going to be struggling. Sparks has in fact lost DRS. No, Riggs has in fact lost DRS to Sparks. So he's going to be a sitting duck here. I'm going to go on board with Bourbon. I feel like this is going to provide the best view of the absolute chaos that's about to ensue in this fight for P9. Riggsy's going to go defensive. Makes a bit of contact with Medal, but that does look fair. Little bit of wheel banging, and Riggs, yeah, he's just been absolutely swamped. He's just been absolutely swamped. He got down to P12. That early stop did not work, and Bourbon's gained an entire pit stop on it. Thanks to those new tyres. And how high up can Bourbon soar in it, in fact? Medal, at the moment at least, does not have DRS and Sparks. And I feel like it's in Sparks' best interest to absolutely not be giving it to him. Although in saying that, maybe, I don't know. It depends if Medal attacks him or not. There's going to be a couple more opportunities at that. One thing that's also shaping up to be tasty. Crispy versus Simba versus Corey in this last lap. What's it? Corey really trying hard to try and get past the Alpine driver. But at the moment it's not doing it. They're both going to get DRS of course. And Simba has saved a bit more battery than Crispy as well. So is that going to be enough for Simba to get himself a top 5, or is Crispy going to be the one that takes it? Or is Corey going to be waiting in the wings? Speaking of battles as well, the battle for the final podium places is not over as well. It does seem like Griffiths' tyres have now died a bit. He's not been able to keep within that 3 seconds of Midzi, and instead of looking ahead of him, he's going to have to look behind. He's going to have to try and keep his spot on the podium. His red light flashes, and Ads is going to type it down the inside. That is very aggressive. He makes a bit of contact with him as well. Griffiths, interestingly, did not defend the inside there. Probably did not expect Ads to make the move. But he has made it, and that is Ads up into P3. As Crispy and Simba here are going side by side. Oh! Each other just enough room, and it does look like Simba has muscled his way through. These 2 battles have been decided on the final lap. Ads is just nicking the podium, looks like, over Griffiths. And Simba is just going to get that top 5 spot over Crispy. Can Corey do anything to him? I'm not too sure. Oh, as Griffiths picks up a penalty anyway. Clearly trying something very aggressive, nothing to lose. To try and get close enough to Ads to make the move. I'm going to switch to the race leader now. Snipes, the championship leader. It's another victory. Absolutely fantastic drive from Snipes to take the win. It's Midzi in P2, Ads in P3. And Griffiths is going to get P4. And Simba rounds off the top 5. Then Crispy, Corey, Sparks, Medal and Sora round off the top 10. what a race. I'm gonna try and get top 3 in the party. I mean, I don't really think there's much chance of Snipes having an interview, usually. I'll get Midzi in. Try and invite Snipes in as well. But yeah, Snipes takes the victory, Midzi takes P2, and Ads takes P3. Good evening.
Hello, mate.
Hello. I couldn't be bothered to race, but I'm commentating instead.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think Ads and Snipes are joining, so it's just us for a nice little chat.
Most
in
lonely.
the race.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. First of all, are you happy with your P2 or not?
No, not really, to be honest.
Fair enough. Do you think there's anything you could have done differently? I mean, obviously there's the strategy component, but